All right, Cooper Teare just finished 5th at the US Champs in the 5K. How are we feeling? How are we processing this weekend?
Yeah, it was not the weekend I wanted by any means, but that's what championship racing is, and that's what USA's is. And if you're not here on your A game, you're not going to make teams. The 1500, I felt like I wasn't really on my A game and where I needed to be going into that. And maybe I made a lot of tactical errors. So I think a takeaway from this weekend was just like seeing that and being able to make those adjustments for racing in the 5K and like being able to put myself in a better position, which I definitely did today. It's just, it was one of those days where if you weren't in that break of that top 3, like you weren't making the team. And, I was right there. I just missed it by, maybe a second or behind, one wrong guy. And you're making up 5 meters, which you don't have when you're closing in 220, 221. So, yeah.
What in the last 2-3 days since that 1500, I guess, what have you been doing mentally to get ready for the 5K?
Just try to put the past in the past. It's so easy to dwell on these things, especially I felt like I personally wanted to focus on the 15, and I think in training was too kind of intermediate between 15 and 5 that I wasn't necessarily like as sharp as I needed to be going in, and like a lot of it's on me tactically and just not like really making those right moves and getting a little antsy when I should have just been patient. But yeah, I think I just had to put that in the past and like know that I had the opportunity to make the 5K team and put my best foot forward and not like it definitely is a little more pressure when you don't have one in the bag and like this is kind of your last chance. So I just wanted to be there and feel like I was giving myself the best shot to make the team.
Is there anything you learned this first year as a pro, not obviously tactically here, but more so outside of the weekend, the difference in training and the system, no longer having school, anything that you've taken away?
I think the biggest thing is like, age and maturity matters a lot. You can train as hard as you want, but if you're not like composed and mature about how you're racing and like getting from meet to meet and doing all the little things and showing up on the day, like you're not going to make these teams. And I think the U.S. is as competitive as it's ever been in these championships. And running the way I did this weekend, there were some ups and downs, but like you take a lot more away from the losses than you do from the wins. So I think there's a lot left in this season for me down the road, and I just have to learn from these and try to get better and make every opportunity count.
When you talk about the age and maturity thing, like this weekend, is there an example of that where you feel like you might have felt functional in that area?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is like experience, and you look at someone like Yard who's had a lot of these opportunities running Diamond Leagues already this year, and I felt like he raced every which way and kind of raced those guys that are top in the world. And at this point, like you have to be one of the top guys in the world to make a 15 team or a 5K team. So yeah, having kind of that experience and just like those opportunities to be in those races and race all these different ways tactically, it definitely pays off when a race could go any which way at USA. So yeah, I feel like I'm so used to the college racing system and like racing every other weekend and kind of sharpening up that way. And I felt like I maybe had a little bit of trouble just like going the last 6 weeks of just head down training. Like I felt like I had a hard time quantifying what I'd done. Like we had some really, really amazing workouts up at altitude, but I just didn't feel like that confidence that I have like when you come off of a racing season and you're running PRs and you're beating the people that you're racing here. So I think I just have to either get a little more used to that racing off a big base of training rather than racing, and or just race some more. So either way, we'll figure it out.
And you said you thought the training was like a little intermediate between the 15 and the 5. Did you ever voice those concerns to Jerry? Like how long had you felt that way?
Yeah, I definitely was asked to do 1500 sessions, and I got a couple in. I just didn't feel like I did one really specific 1500 workout, and other than that, a lot of base stuff and like a little bit of speed here and there. But like I've always felt like speed was one of my biggest assets, and I just didn't feel as confident with the speed this year. I just felt really strong, and I think that showed in the 5K. Like with these guys who have been living up at altitude for years and training really hard up there. I feel like for my first couple cycles of altitude, like that adjustment was pretty hard, but I feel like I came off of it pretty well.
And the 1500 on Thursday, did anything specific go wrong, you think, in that race for you?
Tactically, I ran 100% worse than every other person in that race. The entire last 800, I probably ran 830 meters. Like, I was out at the edge of lane 2, just like yo-yoing, kind of getting bodied around a little bit, and just not making decisive moves. And those half moves, you know, I paid the price for those in the last 50, and I should have run through the line. A lot of things, but you know, it's hard to look back at all of them and justify it all, but that's what it was, and that's, you know, gotta just clean those up for the future.
Thanks, Cooper.
All right, appreciate it.